To complete the most significant news for this day, Y News continues. Here are the top stories. President Rodrigo Duterte warns Cebu-based businessman and alleged drug lord Peter Lim not to surrender to him alive. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Harsher campaign against illegal drugs. This is reiterated by President Rodrigo Duterte, and he also warns alleged drug lord Cebu-based businessman Peter Lim. The president said Lim should not surrender to him alive.
Kasi kukulong ko siya ng 200 years. 200 years? Di ako sa kanya magpakulong, mag-suicide na lang siya.
More aggressive.
Basta sinabi ko sa inyo, do not with my country about that. You will destroy my country and I will kill you. I could not be more emphatic and be clearer about it. Huwag yan droga.
The chief executive made the statement after the ceremonial signing into law of the Universal Healthcare and Revised Corporation Code in Malacanang late this afternoon. When asked what kind of drug campaign, this is his response.
So is it going to be bloodier?
I think so.
He also warns people of Visayas not to be engaged in illegal drug operations. The court has issued arrest warrant versus Lim on conspiracy to commit illegal drug trading, as well as self-confessed shabu distributor Kerwin Espinosa and 2 others. However, until now, Lim is still wanted by the National Bureau of Investigation. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
Meanwhile, the patient who was earlier reported to be suspected with Middle East Respiratory Syndrome or MERS has tested negative for the illness. This has been the result revealed by the Department of Health Calabarzon this evening. The patient, an overseas Filipino worker, is a 47-year-old man who was transported from a Laguna hospital to the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine or RITM in Muntinlupa today. Pag-asa monitors the possibility of having weak El Niño in several parts of the country, particularly in western Luzon. Pag-asa adds this was already felt in several parts of Mindanao and may be felt till the end of June. Mai Bermudez will tell us why.
Some parts of western Mindanao are already experiencing the effect of weak El Niño, according to the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or Pag-asa. The phenomenon may be felt until June this year in other parts of the country. But what can an ordinary farmer expect during the recurrence of weak El Niño?
So usually po, yung mga rain-fed farmers natin o po yung mga magsasaka sa Western Luzon area na umaasa sa tubig ulan, sila po yung posibleng hindi makapagtanim dahil sila po yung umaasa sa tubig ulan. So ito po yung posibleng maapektuhan yung mga rain-fed farmers po natin.
According to Undersecretary Renato Solidum, a full-blown El Niño may also be felt this year.
Pero kailangan pa ng ilang buwan pa na masabing full-blown El Niño na siya. Yun yung forecast. Pero yung kondisyon nandiyan na. Ngayon, dahil sa kondisyon na yan, ay magkakaroon ng mga pagbawa sa ulan na minsan ay mahigit 60% than the normal na average sa mga probinsya. At ito na yung tinatawag na drought, no? May drought or dry spell.
The government also monitors dams across the country due to possible water level reduction. According to Pag-asa, when full-blown El Niño prevails, it might delay the onset of the rainy season, extend dry season, weaken monsoon activity, decrease the number of typhoons that will enter the country, cause lower than normal rainfall amount, and the occurrence of higher temperatures. Pag-asa advises that once this phenomenon is experienced, the public must regularly refer to the weather advisory, check or report water leaks, conserve water, avail of crop insurance for farms, and use air conditioning units moderately and wisely. Mai Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Malacanang does not support the proposal to remove scholarships of anti-government student rallies except when there is enough evidence against them on their involvement to topple the government. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo stated that being a member of a leftist group or joining anti-government protests is not enough reason to revoke the scholarship of government scholars.
Kung sinususpetsahan lang natin, hindi naman po pwede. kailangan meron tayong ebidensya ng mga parte nga sila ng mga grupo na laban sa gobyerno. Kung sila ay sumasama lang sa mga rally, that's right. That's a right. That's freedom of expression and freedom of assembly.
However, another form of rebellion against the government is when a person sows violence or incites sedition.
But if you use rallies to foment violence, to incite sedition, that's a different story.
The Philippine National Police, or PNP, is on the hunt for the supposed 10-year-old daughter of the two alleged suicide bombers responsible for the JOLO Cathedral blast that occurred last January 27. It can be noted that Interior Secretary Eduardo Año had previously said that suicide bombers left their daughter to Abu Sayyaf sympathizers before the bombing. Meanwhile, Albayalde wants to find the alleged daughter for DNA testing to determine if the suicide bombers really are her parents, as well as to confirm their nationality.
Yung information na yan, meron silang iniwan na anak dito sa Pilipinas. And hopefully makita natin dahil paglaki niyan, posibleng maging potential suicide bomber din. Dahil of course, they saw it sa kanilang parents.
Albayalde also wants an immediate action to prevent the child from getting influenced by terrorists. In other news, the names of politicians or government officials involved in illegal drug operations or the narco list must be validated first before it is released ahead of the May 2019 midterm elections. This has been presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo's response when asked if President Rodrigo Duterte approves the Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG's, proposal to release the narco list before the elections.
Di ba si Presidente na naglabas na rin nun? So it goes without saying. Kung si Presidente mismo naglabas.
Meanwhile, Philippine National Police, or PNP, Chief Police Director General Oscar Albayalde said they will not release any narco list.
Tayo pag-validate lang, pero we do not maintain the list of narco politicians. What we have is yung aming list of yung counterintelligence watch list namin involving our personnel at of course yung mga non-uniform personnel namin.
PNP Chief Albayalde further stated that they have a case build-up underway on personalities on the narco list, but it is not their job to reveal those names. And for the news abroad, here's Stephanie C. live from Hong Kong. Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening, William. Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan urges talks with India after a blast in Kashmir. Meanwhile, the United Nations has expressed concern on the rising tension between the two countries. Kathleen Maraos will tell us why.
Prime Minister Imran Khan said on Tuesday Pakistan would retaliate if India takes military action against it after a militant attack on Indian forces in Kashmir. In a televised address, Khan said India had leveled allegations against Pakistan without any evidence, and his government was ready to cooperate with New Delhi in investigating the blast.
If you feel that you will carry out any type of attack on Pakistan, Pakistan will not think of retaliating. Pakistan will retaliate. There will be no other option for Pakistan except for retaliation, except for striking back.
India responded that Khan was again making excuses.
We demand Pakistan to stop misleading the international community and to take credible and visible action against the perpetrators of Pulwama terrorist attack and other terrorists and terror groups operating from areas under their control.
More than 40 members of India's security forces died in Thursday's suicide bombing on their convoy. Pakistan-based militant group Jaish-e-Mohammed said it was behind it. The attack has raised tensions between India and Pakistan, which have fought two wars in a limited conflict in the region and are both nuclear powers. Meanwhile, the United Nations called on India and Pakistan to take immediate steps to de-escalate tensions between the two nations.
we're deeply concerned at the increase in tensions between the two countries in the wake of the attack on Indian security personnel on February 14th in Pulwama. The Secretary General stresses the importance for both sides to exercise maximum restraint and take immediate steps to de-escalation, and his good officers are always available should both sides ask.
Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue.
SHAMIMA BEGUM, who joined the Islamic State group in Syria aged 15, is to lose her UK citizenship. Whitehall sources said it was possible to strip the 19-year-old of British nationality as she was eligible for citizenship of another country. Her family lawyer said they were disappointed with the decision and were considering all legal avenues to challenge it. Begum, who left East London in 2015, had said she wanted to return home. She was found in a Syrian refugee camp last week after reportedly leaving Baghouz, IS's last stronghold, and gave birth to a son at the weekend. A major avalanche buried skiers on a busy slope of a popular Swiss resort. Meanwhile, thousands of people have joined protests across France against a spate of anti-Semitic attacks. Jovic Burmas will tell us why.
In Paris, Parisians and political leaders from all parties, including former Presidents François Hollande and Nicolas Sarkozy, gathered in Paris filling the Place de la République to decry anti-Semitic acts with one common slogan, "Enough." Among incidents in recent days was when Yellow Vest protesters were filmed hurling abuse at Alain Finkielkraut, a well-known Jewish writer and son of a Holocaust survivor. President Emmanuel Macron had paid respects earlier on Tuesday at a Jewish cemetery in eastern France where nearly 100 graves were desecrated with Nazi symbols. In Haiti, Haitian police arrested a group of foreign nationals, including 5 Americans armed with semi-automatic weapons, Haitian newspapers reported on Monday. The U.S. State Department was aware that Haitian police arrested a group that included U.S. citizens. Haitian police did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Local media reported that 7 foreigners and a Haitian were in the group picked up by police on Sunday night. Police found rifles, pistols, drones, and satellite phones in their 2 vehicles. The arrests comes amid nearly 2 weeks of protests against President Jovenel Moïse. In Switzerland, at least 4 people have been injured in an avalanche in a ski resort in the Swiss Alps. The avalanche was reported at a marked slope in Crans, Montana. Police have said they cannot discount the possibility that others still may be affected, after local reports said up to 12 people may have been involved. The avalanche came after a week of warmer temperatures began melting heavy snow. In Russia, Greenpeace activists in Moscow on Thursday tried to draw officials' attention to whale prison at Russia's Pacific coast. According to a report, about 100 orcas and belugas are being held in small temporary enclosures in a bay near the city of Nakhodka. Some of them have been there for some months in very poor condition. Activists believe that the animals was being sold to Chinese Marine Park for $19 million. Jovic Burmas, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Stephanie C., live from Hong Kong. For those who like to push the cutting edge of style, there's something new to explore in Vietnam before the upcoming Trump-Kim summit next week. Nina Armilio will tell us why.
2 of the world's most talked about haircuts are now available for free in Vietnam, in honor of an upcoming summit between U.S. President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un on February 27 to 28. A Hanoi barber gets his scissors cutting to offer free haircuts to anyone wanting to match the 2 leaders' distinctive looks. 9-year-old Togiahui's hair was molded to a perfect copy of Kim's shaved sides and slick-back top hairstyle.
I feel happy with this haircut because people will think I look like the leader of North Korea.
while 66-year-old Lepukay seems to be enjoying his new look.
Donald Trump's haircut looks great, and it suits my age.
Tuandong Beauty Academy is running the promotion until February 28, as thousands of officials and journalists come to the Vietnamese capital for the second summit between Trump and Kim since their historic first meeting in Singapore last June.
I was doing this only for fun, but was surprised at how people have responded. I was very happy.
Niño Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue.
Old-fashioned steam trains are becoming more and more popular in Russia. Abby Valdez will tell us why.
The first steam-powered scheduled train in Russia since 1976 begins running again about 350 kilometers from Moscow. It is an old-fashioned steam engine locomotive that passengers on Bologoy Station and Tverskaya region continue to patronize. The railway line from Bologoy to Ostashkov was built in 1907. Aside from bringing passengers back in time, the train has additional features. For instance, all attendants in the train dress up in historical uniform of the 1940s aside from the serene view from the window. The steam train has been brought back en route by Alexei Volkov, head of Russian Railroad Amateur Society. Former locoman Volkov convinced the Russian railway company RCD to bring back the past.
A steam locomotive is the greatest historical memory of Russia. I would compare the importance of a steam locomotive to the one of the Tsar bell or the Tsar cannon. It is part of history which should be kept alive, the same as the art of bell ringing.
Tickets cost about 300 rubles or $4.5, the same price as for electric train. Abby Valdez, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news, February 20, 2019. On behalf of Rheena, Villamor-Camara, and Angelo Diego Castro III, I am William Thio. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.